Well, I think that is us live.
Evening.
Good evening, YouTube. It's Pieman here. I'm joined with Adam Smith. Got a lot of sport on the agenda at the moment. We've actually just come off the back in the last few minutes of another 28-1 winner for the channel. Joe Cullen winning today's Super Series darts main selection. Another 28-1 winner for the channel. So that's put us in a good mood before we even get going. And we're getting going on what is going to be a cracking week of action. Royal Ascot starts tomorrow, kickstarts tomorrow, 5 days of action. And we're going to look to preview it all for you right here with our live chats, 8:30 till 9 p.m. each evening. I know it does clash with the European Championship football, so some of you might be joining us halfway through the videos at 8:45. We're just delighted to have you whenever we have you, really. But basically how this is going to go, because we're on a bit of a tighter time, we're going to try and get as much as we can in before 9. So we're going to start by, I'm going to run through the card chronologically. Smido's going to give us his thoughts and selections in quite a brief, succinct manner. And then if you do have any questions about tomorrow's racing or any general points or any fancies of your own, get them in the chat box. And then from when we've gone through the card up until 9 p.m, we'll cram in as much as we can, as much chat and discussion as we can. So do give the link a share on Twitter if you think you have some people that would be interested in joining. More the merrier, really. And if you are joining us, thanks for having you here. So, Smido, day one tomorrow. We'll dive straight in, I think. But firstly, you're down there in Ascot, 6 miles from the course, I believe.
Yeah, about 6 miles. Not the most glamorous surroundings, Pieman, but I'm not an upmarket kind of kid. Yeah, about 4 hours down here. Kid at Christmas time for me, really, because, as I've said, the Tuesday at Royal Ascot is the best day in the racing calendar, full stop, bar none. Brilliant day, 3 Group 1s, which we're going to plough into. As Pieman said, we're going to be a bit more precise, not running through every runner in the field. We've done a couple of anti-post videos already. One of them was last week, where we covered most of the Group 1s again. You'll already know my thoughts on the likes of Paddy's Pier and Battaash and the leading contenders this week. So, pretty concise with the picks, and let's fingers crossed for some more profit. As Pieman has reiterated earlier, all 3 sports that we have ever covered on this channel are well in profit. The golf's massively in profit, the darts massively in profit at 28-1 today, and the racing is in a decent profit that could be better.
Well, I think we'll address that this week. I think you're quite strong on a few of these, aren't you? As the week as a whole, I think you've got a few fantasies, fair to say, and going to dive straight in, I think, with the first race. So, as I say, if you have got any, questions or whatever, it's not that I'm ignoring them. We're going to whiz through the card first and then do the questions. So, if you've got fancies, comments, questions, get them in the chat box, and I'll come to them once we've run through the card. But we'll go straight in with the Queen Anne. First race of the day at 2:30 tomorrow. Palace Pier, a warm order for this one, Smido.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've covered Palace Pier. He's 4-9. In the market, wouldn't argue with it. That's why, as alluded to last week, we are edging towards the without favourite market, and there's an each way without favourite market. So, assuming that Palace Pier wins, we are playing for the next 3 places, so 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, on the assumption that Palace Pier wins. And the bet for me is Lord Glitters. I think I mentioned this in last week's video. It's 10-1 in the without favourite market, and there is only one firm betting each way in the without favourite market, and that is Bet365. Usually in without favourite markets, the most suppliers bet win only in that market, i.e. to come second. 365 are betting each way. They're 10-1. I thought Lord Glitters was a bit of an eye catcher at Newbury. Not that he was unlucky or anything like that, but he ran well. He was ran a nice race in behind Lord Glitters, in behind Palace Pier. That's twice I've done that. He loves Ascot, absolutely loves Ascot. He's won this race before. He's second in this race before. I think that there's not a lot of pace on, and Lord Glitters will be out the back and hopefully picking up the pieces. It's 28-1 in the standard each way market, Pieman, if you're that way inclined. But going on the official doubles and trebles selection spreadsheet will be 10-1 Lord Glitters each way without the favourite.
Would you be inclined, if you weren't involved already, to let that drift a little bit more? I mean, it seems to be going fairly weak in the market.
No. I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with that, Pieman. Yes, it does seem weak in the market. There's some that have been a bit stronger in the market. I don't know why Top Rank is blue on Odds Checker. I do not know. Top Rank will not win tomorrow, Pieman. He needs soft ground. This horse needs soft ground. It's as simple as that. I don't know why people are forgetting that. Order of Australia is the choice of Ryan Moore. He's 8-1 second favourite and the only other horse at a single figure price behind Palace Pier. I can't have Lope Fernandez. I've said that many times. Regal Reality showed some decent form yesteryear, but not for some time. Has changed ownership. Bit of blue for that. So Busker loves the track. Bit of blue for that. But no, I don't think Lord Glitters will be getting much bigger than he is now. And if he does, I'd go in again. It's quite simple. But I'm just going on the life prices now, Pine Man, and I'd be comfortable to back him at 10-1 in the each way without the favourite market.
There you go then. Lord Glitters without the favourite 10-1, 1 point each way for the spreadsheet. So we'll move it on again. Going to the 305 next, and that's the Coventry. And this has been a race we've looked at quite a bit. Looks an open affair as always.
Yeah, well, last Thursday I think it was, I said that I was quite keen on Dabab at 14-1, 12-1 at the time. He's now 5-1 favourite.
Yeah, good call.
I've been a little bit unlucky there in terms of the official selection, but this looks a good renewal to me, Pie Man. Like I said, we covered it last week. Said Dabab was a cracking bet at 12-1. He's probably too short now at 5-1. He's been a big market mover in the last 24 hours. He's not the officials doubles and trebles selection for this evening. We only play in the day of race markets. But, you know, for anyone who was watching our unofficial YouTube chat last week regarding Royal Ascot, I do hope some of you got on. I'm on at that price. Like I said, I think the market looks pretty bang on. I do think there's a few of these at the top of the market that are pretty talented, but none of them are flying off the page as being overpriced as we stand right now. Last Thursday, Dabab was overpriced at 12-1, and fortunately, that's something I got right. Anyway, the official selection, Pie Man, is a bomb, and I know you like to use that word. It is a proper bomb, this horse. This is the biggest selection I've ever put up on doubles and trebles for a horse. Secret Strength is 50-1, 50-1, 6 places each way. Now, that is with Sky Bet. And Sky Bet do not offer best odds guaranteed on these enhanced place racers market. And I'll be honest with you, most races at Ascot this week, and certainly most races tomorrow, 6 of the 7 races tomorrow, Sky Bet are enhanced places. They're the most places available in the market. There is no best odds guaranteed available on those races with Sky Bet. So he's 50-1, 6 places each way now. Now, it is a bit of a leap of faith to put up this horse. Obviously, he's 50-1. I just think, though, Pie Man, and it's more of a bit of a hunch rather than form, but you could say that about a lot of these. Most of these are having either the second, third, or fourth start. The Barb's favourite at 5-1 is having his second career start ever in his life. So you're taking a bit of a leap with most of them. I just think, I've got a feeling Secret Strength is better than what he has shown in the 3 starts so far. Every time that Richard Hannon talks about this horse in the paper, on his Unibet blog, on YouTube, even yesterday, he just you know, he thinks this horse is better than he's shown as well. I know there'll be a certain someone in the comments disagreeing with that. But yeah, he's turned up at Newmarket. He was well backed, didn't enjoy the dip. That was on his debut. Second start at York, he was bumped out the gates, but was disappointing overall. Don't get me wrong, I'm not making an excuse for him. He was disappointing at York. He picked up a win on his third start at Musselburgh a couple of weeks ago. That was at 5 furlongs, Class 2 conditions race. So not a bad race for Musselburgh up in Scotland. He's back to 6 furlongs here, which I think is a plus. And like I say, I've just got, you know, it's a feeling rather than an outright form pick. But like I say, you need that sometimes, particularly in these juvenile races. 50-1, 6 places each way. I'm happy to give him a go. Tom Marquand's doing the steering. It's from a stable that have won this race before and gone well in this race with numerous others before. Yeah, that'll be the one for me, Pie Man. 50-1, 6 places each way. Secret Strength.
Yeah, I love the price, and I'm not being funny, but I mean you are taking a leap of faith when you get into those realms of the market, and
of course you are.
This is a kind of race where you know, we could have a boil over. You do get it from time to time. There's like you say, a lot of question marks over the field and stuff, and young horses. You just never know. So that's the kind of selection we like to see on there. Something a little bit outside the box. Moving on to the 340, the King's Stand, and this is a cracker of a race. Where are you going on this one?
Well, I said last week that I was edging towards Battleground and King's Stand. Sorry, I'm on the wrong race, Pie Man. Yeah, I'm not confident on this one. Battaash, I just think I've got a real bad feeling about this because I think it's the first time I've ever backed Battaash or spoke positively about him. I always try and take him on. He's a 7-year-old now. He's had a well-documented setback this year, but I do think he is it's obvious to say, I think he's the best horse in this race. And I think that this rate, the opponents this year are no better or worse than those that he faced last year, in my opinion. Obviously, I could be proven wrong tomorrow afternoon, but he was 5-6 to win this exact race last year. He won it by over 2 lengths, and he's 2-1 today. And like I say, against what I think is a very similar standard field of opposition. Yes, he's going to need to have recovered well from that injury, and this is first time up this season, but I just think at 2-1 he's too big to be left on back, and I think he might drift even further, Pieman.
Yeah, I was going to say it's quite easy to back, and Winter Power, she seems like quite a popular selection, so that could tighten up even more, I think.
Yep. I think you could see 5-2, 11-4 Battaash. But yeah, this is the 2-1 is generally available. There's what we would say, like I say, we don't usually call out the supplies, but Bet365 are best odds guaranteed as of now. So I'm on with them at 2-1, and if he goes off bigger, that'll be a nice positive on the spreadsheet if he were to win. I mentioned Winter Power last week. I've just got a thing against 3-year-olds in these top class sprints. This will be her first time in open company against the older, more professional, more experienced speedballs. She looked great at York last time. Don't get me wrong, but this is
impressive.
But
this is a big step up, isn't it?
And the form was franked at the weekend for Winter Power. Don't get me wrong, but even with Winter Power is pretty good, right? Away from her, there's nothing else in this field that really worries me. I think Liberty Beach, ran in this last year. I think Battaash has beat her. Oxtead's coming down from 6. Quay Amoro has been beat before by Battaash. Most of these have been beaten before by Battaash. Kings Lynn ain't good enough. Kings Lynn is not good enough, I don't think, for this Group 1. There's been some blue around for him. He's got a sexier profile. I think he's, new to the sprinting ranks. Blah, blah. Yeah, the Queen's colours. But yeah, just Battaash from a pricing perspective, Palmer. If Battaash was even money in this race, I'll probably be skipping it and won't be having a bet. But because I don't really, it's one of them where he's a good horse. He probably will win, but I can't rely on him to back him. And I've never really got him right myself personally from a betting perspective. But he's 2-1. I've said about the opposition. He needs to be back to somewhere near his best following the injury. But working on the assumption that he is, I'm no horse trainer. I'm going to say similar comments about the next race. 2-1. I think the price is too big.
Nice one. And yeah, just for an update for anyone who has joined us late, thanks for joining us. We're just running through tomorrow's card at Royal Ascot. Good to have you on board. Thanks to Stephen Derbyshire, Brendan Smith, Andy Humphrey, Lucas Coppin, and we've also had Lee Jones now in the house, and I think we might have Wayne Harrison in the house as well. Great to have all the guys in. Just keep your questions, thoughts on tomorrow's racing coming. We're going to run through these last 4 races, and then we'll have a little bit of time before we go off to have a chat about your questions, or I'd love to hear your selections as well, so do fire them in the chat box. But I'm going to move you on now, Smitho, 4:20. If I can just get the market up for the St James. Yep, St James's Palace. So here we are. Poetic Flair 4-1, Battleground 11-2, Lucky Vega 13-2. I won't take you through the full field. Where's your money gone? You were edging towards Battleground the last time we spoke.
Yeah, and I've gone off him. I was edging towards Chindit about a month ago. I've gone off him. I was edging towards Battleground last Thursday. I've gone off him. He was 7-1 at the time we spoke Thursday. Is 11-2 best price now.
Where have you gone? That's the question.
Yeah, the facts are about Battleground, right? He bombed out badly at Newmarket. Whichever way you look at it, he bombed out badly. He was 13 or 14 on the day. Went off 9-2 favourite, heavily backed beforehand on the day. He hasn't won a race in nearly 11 months. His 2-year-old form wasn't that great anyway. I mean, the horse he beat in the last time he won at Goodwood, he beat a horse called Devious Company. I mean, he's bang average. So for the first time on the doubles and trebles official selections, I'm actually going to put up 2 Pieman in the same race. Poetic Flair is not a horse I've ever backed before. It cost me money at Newmarket and yourself, because we backed Master of the Seas, who was second by whatever it was, a head or whatever it was. But Poetic Flair is a simple price play. He's 4-1 Pieman with Paddy, Bet Victor, Unibet, etc.
Yeah, plenty of choice.
People will talk about this horse, this being his 4th Group 1 in 6 weeks, right? Which is borderline nowadays, and in my time, borderline unprecedented, right? For a horse to be running and running nearly winning. He's won one of them, came second in another. This will be his 4th Group 1 in 6 weeks, right? I'm clearly not a horse trainer. Never have been, never will be. So we've got to take it on a given that he's fit and ready to go, Pieman. The trainer owns this horse. The trainer bred this horse. He owns this horse. He obviously knows the what's best for him, right? He won't be running him if he was knackered and needed a rest for a month, right? So assuming that he is able to reproduce the form he showed in the English 2,000 guineas at Newmarket, which he won, and the Irish 2,000 guineas at the Curragh, where he was a short distance second, drifted across the track that day on heavy ground, The 4-1 is just too big. I mean, imagine he's got easily the best form in the book, easily. Imagine, just for the chat, right? Imagine if Aidan O'Brien was coming to this race, the St James's Palace, with a horse that had won the English 2,000 guineas and was second in the Irish equivalent. He'd be even money. He'd be even money, Pie Man. So it's a straight up price play, that is. The each way selection will be, again, with the enhanced places with Sky Bet, you can get 20-1 Maximal, 5 places each way. I said about this horse last Thursday, arrives from the non-classic route. The horse had been all over for Epsom last week before he was withdrawn due to the rain. He's going to be quick ground tomorrow. He'll love that. It's a big step up required. Don't get me wrong. Big step up for Maximal required against the likes of Poetic Flair. Lucky Vega's got classic form, etc. But fast ground on a mile at Ascot looks right down his alley. I said last week, he's by Galileo out of a half sister to Franco. He's not badly bred. I just think he's going to be potentially in the mix. And with that 5 places at 20-1, I'm happy to put him down as a selection.
Yeah, I like the idea with Maximal. I like your line of thought there. And I mean, the Poetic Flair thing, sometimes it is a case if you look at a race like this, and I think someone has just said in the chat, it looks like a bit of a trappy affair. And sometimes it's best not to overcomplicate these things, because you can make an angle for pretty much all of these towards the top of the betting. But the one with the form in the book is Poetic Flair. And if it runs the same race, as you say, it's run on the last 2 times we've seen it, it's going to go close, if not win. So, why overcomplicate matters, really? I like where you're going there. Let's move it on then. We've got 3 races to go, and then we have got a few bits in the chat to get to. But at 5 o'clock tomorrow, we have the Ascot Stakes handicap. Where are you going on this one? Big field.
Well, Pie Man, it's over 2 miles and 4 furlongs. So you know where I'm going with that one. That will be a no-bet race. Please let us know who you fancy in the comments. All you need to know is that Willie Mullins trains the favourite. I mean, move on. Don't care. No interest.
Not really like a flat racer's dream, that one, is it, really? But there we are. Yeah, do let us know if you've got any fancies for the Ascot Stakes, though, because it would be nice to hear what you guys are backing in that one, if anything. Certainly not Smido's cup of tea, I don't think. But we've got the Wolferton Stakes after that one at 5:35. Do you have a fancy in this one?
Yeah, another one I think we touched on last Thursday. Doesn't look as good a renewal as usual to me, Pine Man. Wide open as normal. 14 runners, 4-1 the field. Listed event. Patrick Sarsfield. I think I mentioned him last week as well. He was in really good form last year. No less than went second to Scaletti, who won a French Group 1 just a couple of weeks ago. That jumps off the page. I think he's the rightful fav. I thought he would be a little bit shorter, actually. The only question mark for me is that he's never run on good to firm ground, but they have been watering every day at Ascot for the last few days. It's officially good to firm in places, so it's not outright good to firm as yet. Obviously, the weather's scorching, so it could well be by the time we get to 5:35 tomorrow. So the ground is a worry. You can get 4-1. That's a standout with Bet365, who will offer you best odds guaranteed right now. So it's a tentative one, Pine Man. Battaash is rather tentative as well, but yeah, it's tentative. Patrick Sarsfield 4-1.
Well, again, it might just be best not to overcomplicate matters. I mean, like you say, made a decent case for it there, and 4-1, it's not to be sniffed at. If it can get the job done, it's not a short price by any means, even if it is a favourite. So, moves us on to the last race of the day, the Copper Horse Stakes handicap. Do you have anything in this one?
Well, I've had a bit. Yeah, this has annoyed me, to be honest.
This is another one over a reasonable trip, and another Willie Mullins horse in the field.
Yeah, it is, to be fair, Pie Man. But I did fancy one. I made these selections last night, and my pick was 18-1 each way, 6 places. And a couple of the lads in the chat will vouch for me here, because I texted them my selections about 24 hours ago. I've travelled down 4 hours to Ascot today. I've put the laptop on, and the 18-1 shot is now 17-2 with those 6 places available. So the price has done me. But yeah, the horse is Arthurian Fable. I thought he ran a really nice race at Royal Ascot last year, where he finished 4th behind good horses like Hookham, who went on to win a group race. Like I say, 2 of those he had in front that day have won above handicap level since, Hookham being one of them. He returned at Newmarket in May this year. He was just 2 1/4 lengths behind Global Storm, who's 5-1 for this. Would have surely been closer with a clearer run. He had to navigate his way through runners that day. It was only a small field, but he wasn't able to run in a straight line towards the end, unfortunately. I think he was stripped fit for that. Apprentice jockey was on that day. He's come off. Jim Crowley's on. Like I say, he was 18-1 24 hours ago. I thought it was a great bet. But I'm still going to stick with him, Pieman. Unlike DeBarb, who was 12-1 when I mentioned him a few days ago, I would not put him up as an official selection now at 5-1. But Arthurian Fable, who was halved in price since yesterday, I would still happy to put him up as an official selection. He's 8.5-1, 6 places each way. You will not get best odds guaranteed with that supplier that we've already mentioned.
There you go. The most important thing to ask, I guess, not for our viewers, but for yourself, did you manage to take that 18-1?
Yeah, only small. Not as much as I would wanted, but yeah, I'm on.
I hope for your sake you can at least get some benefit out of the price anyway. But this is where we've got 9 minutes left. I'm going to turn it to the chat. So already got some messages in there. I'm just going to give them a little skim over, read anything relevant, because there's a lot of stuff that's not relevant, as always, and we love it relevant and irrelevant.
Why are you picking someone out, fine, man?
But, yeah, go on.
I saw Wayne Harrison. I think he's in the chat, right?
Yeah.
I watched the Odds Checker Day 1 preview. It was about 50 minutes long, right? And he was in the chat, Wayne, kicking off about something with a strong opinion, as always, which is welcome on Double and Treble.
Always welcome.
He had 130 something replies just to his personal reply. So go on, Wayne.
Yeah, good to see you boiling piss, Wayne. Well done. Yeah, no, we like it on here all day. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't agree with everything I read and see on the comment section, but I certainly enjoy reading it. So, keep them comments coming, good, bad, and indifferent. We're quite thick-skinned. I've been called all sorts over the years. It doesn't really bother me. Let's just have a whiz through this then. Let's find some serious stuff. Brendan Smith, when you were talking about Lord Glitters, said 11's 365, 6 places. I know 365 do the place markets, don't they? It might be worth a look. Where you can add the place.
You don't get best odds on them markets. So
there you go. There's your answer then, Brendan. That's right. So you would Sky at 10s, aren't you? Is that right?
No, and we're 365 at 10 in the without favourite market.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, with you. That's that cleared up. Lucas Coppin's been in touch. Good to have you in, Lucas. He says opinions on La Barossa. Close finish to Master of the Seas, which puts the form right up there with Poetic Flair. Prefers the quicker ground. 20-1 each way pork.
Wouldn't put you off. I think
makes a good case.
Yeah, in that market, Highland Avenue and Mooster Death, since last week when I said they were both too short at 4 and 5-1, have both drifted to 8 or 9-1 now. That's about the right price for them. Wouldn't put you off La Barossa at all. He's clearly gone over to the Curragh for their 2,000 guineas over in Ireland, and the ground was shocking that day. But yeah, he's got that form behind Master of the Seas in a Newmarket trial at the Craven meeting. Yeah, he would, like most of them in the field, isn't without a chance. It's a really, really, very, very good renewal of that race.
Hump talks about a Battaash Oxted reverse forecast. Thoughts on that?
I can't have Oxted. I can't have him coming back down to 5 furlongs. I mean,
even Derbyshire did ask Hump if he always backs Oxted.
Yeah, I mean, SD is a big fan of Oxted, but even SD, as Oxted's biggest fan, will surely not be positive about his chances tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Andy Jones says Lucky Vega, the good thing.
I know Andy's a fan of Lucky Vega. Yeah, I questioned whether he would stay at Newmarket. He clearly did. I think he was, what was he, a length or so? He was half a length third. So, I mean, you can't really argue with that. He's got better. I mean, Lucky Vega's certainly got better form than Battleground, and he's a bigger price. He's got better form than Chindit, Highland Avenue, Mustard F, Thunder Moon. He's got better form than most of them. I won't be backing Lucky Vega, but I can see the angle.
Yeah, just having another scroll down. So that was Lucky Vega. Do let us know your best bet for tomorrow, please. If you're still in the chat, let us know your nap for tomorrow's action, because we're going to run through Smido's selections for you again before we wrap up. So
just seeing the live feed, maybe.
Yeah, we may have just dropped out there briefly for a second. I don't know. I got a notification saying we may have dropped out. So hopefully we're back with you anyway. If we did, where are we at with this chat? Andy Hump says dubious affair chance.
Which race?
Yeah, which race, Andy?
That must be in one of the long distance races.
I've just seen who I think is Wayne Harrison saying he thinks Flotus could be a special filly.
Yeah, that's later in the week, I think.
Yeah. This is, someone from the outside asking, is Flotus, would that be named after the First Lady of the United States? Is that correct?
Oh, Pat, yes. It's one of the best named horses in training, Flotus, and I'll tell you why. the sire of Flotus is actually called Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, there you go.
So there's obvious American connotations there, and the dam is called Florade Floriade. Floriade. Yeah, so genuinely really nicely named horse, and absolutely wazzed in on debut at Goodwood. Really, really impressive. Really, really quite impressive. Was I there that day? No,
I don't know. You'll have to tell. If you don't know if you were there.
Yeah, that was on the Saturday. I was there on the Friday. Yeah, really quite impressive. One to look forward to this week.
SD asks you if you have an opinion on Sextant in the last.
I know he does. Me personally, it's not. I think that's the horse that used to be owned by the Queen. I think, but has now changed hands. Dubious affairs in that last race as well. 33-1 and drifting. So between SD and Hump, they've put the two outsiders in that 16 runner event of the last. They're on the two outsiders. So gives you something to measure their judgment on.
We've got somebody saying Debab was their nap for tomorrow. Let me just see who that was that said that. Callum Shepherd said Debab nap for tomorrow.
Yeah, I just wish he was still 12-1, Callum.
Yeah, we missed the price on that one, didn't we? Well,
I do fancy him.
In terms of selection. Lee Jones says Arecibo Smith in the King's Stand, thoughts?
He was put up by the time form fella, Dan someone.
Barber.
Yeah, well, I've not really got much of an opinion on that race away from Battaash, I'm sorry. But I just think they're all a bit of a muchness. Like I say, if Battaash was even money like he was last year, I'll be skipping that race completely, to be honest. But Arecibo, won last time out, didn't he, for Robert Cow? He's got Frank Spencer doing the steering on the straight track at Ascot. Good luck to you if you're having him. He's 50-1.
Mm-hmm. Who I think is Wayne Harrison in the chat has said Desert Dreamer at a working man's price for Wednesday.
Yeah.
Get that written down for everyone.
Yep, no, that's one I'm considering.
There you go. It's in good company then.
I think it's in the Windsor Castle. Let me just you're throwing me off a little bit here, Wayne, but I think that's in the Windsor Castle. It's on the consideration list, and I think he'd be shorter if he was trained by someone other than Stuart Williams. Or it might be the Queen Mary. It's one of the juvenile races on Wednesday.
She's unfashionable trainer, isn't it?
Yeah, you got a chance. It's the Queen Mary. It's the fillies race. Chance. Desert Dreamer chance. 12-1.
Yeah, and Callum says he's on at 12s for Debab. A lot of money. So good luck to you, Callum.
Good luck, Callum. I'm on at that price as well. So fingers crossed. Right,
so just before we wrap it up then, Smido, can you just run us through your selections for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think there's a record number of points being spent for me. But we're 1 point each way. Lord Glitters in the without the favourite market. 10-1 with bet 365. That's in the 230. In the 305, we're on Secret Strength 50-1 each way. 6 places with Sky. In the 340, we're tentatively on Battaash at 2-1 general. I just think that is too big. 2-1 generally. 365, you can have 2-1 and get best odds guaranteed right now. 420, I've got 2. Poetic Flair win 4-1. Paddy and Victor, a pure price play as described. If this horse was trained by Aidan O'Brien, it would be even money. Maximal also in the 420, 18-1, 5 places each way. Sky, 525. Patrick Sarsfield, tentative because the ground is a worry. You can get 4-1, win only 365 with your best odds guaranteed. And then in the last race, unfortunately, I've completely missed the price in terms of an official selection for doubles and trebles, but I'm still going with Arthurian Fable, 17-2 each way, 6 places.
There you have it then. That wraps up our Tuesday preview for Royal Ascot. Hope you enjoyed it. Good to have you all in the comments as always. And thanks very much for joining us. It's good to hear what you're on, and I wish you all the very best of luck with your selections. We'll be back again, same time tomorrow, and same time all week for that matter. So join us Wednesday, Thursday. Friday is very much subject to change. I'm scheduled to be in the pub to watch England beat Scotland. So
could be a one-man show Friday.
We're looking at a time change or a one-man show, but just watch this space and keep an eye on our Twitter for updates. And you should be keeping an eye on our Twitter anyway, because today we put up some selections for today's Super Series dart, and we've had a 28-1 winner. So first day of the Super Series, 28-1 winner banged in. There'll be another 3 or 4 selections going up for tomorrow's action. Always get the fancy prices with the dart and the golf, and we've got plenty of fancy prices to go out tomorrow with the racing as well. So have a good one. All the best with your bet, and we'll see you same